center myself, being here, the stream, water. This is a heather here on the path. And all around is abundance. And my topic is abundance is all there is. There is no limit. But the problem with that, and understanding that, if you have a material mind, that means you believe your thoughts, fear-based, lack-based, loss-based thoughts, then you will think abundance is to live like the elitists or the royalties or the so-called leaders, live like that. Why? Or celebrities. I want to have all that stuff. Really? And because what happens when we've got to get in touch with what abundance really means. That if I had abundance, I would feel good. Well, so you feel bad? So it made you think you're bad. You think something's wrong with you. You're not enough. You're not good enough. So then we got to try and make ourselves good enough so that we'll have an abundance of whatever it is we think we need and want to survive. Survival is not the purpose of your existence. In a sense, you don't even need to have a purpose as your existence, because you are existence. That's your nature. And if you had a purpose, it's always self-realization, self-actualization. It's knowing of the self, and the self being myself and yourself are the same, and meaning that that's where we are unified already, and yet each one of us is also, in a sense, a separate entity, because that's what relationship is all about. It's not just we're all one. We want everything one, so one thought system, one this, one that, one that. Who's controlling that? Oh, well, we know what's best for you. Oh, really? So abundance is all there is. And we're taught scarcity to keep people afraid. And it's interesting about all the outer space. I don't want outer space. That's atmosphere, atmosphere. And it's that fear, and the more you dwell on something, you have an abundance of it. So if you dwelling on poor me, you have an abundance of that. If you're dwelling on they're going to get me, you have an abundance of that. If you watch terrorizing things, horrifying things, and pictures of it and images of it and blah 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 blah, all that, that's building reality. This is like, and then what happens is people think those thoughts collectively, because say one movie, it goes throughout the world at the same time, and it's a program, and it's called a program. It's called a program. That's what it's called. And it's a movie. So in a movie, to move is to go forward or to act, or backwards, but it's action in a sense. So it's some action that's taking place on a screen that we've identified with, and somehow so trusting of whoever wrote these things and are putting them on that we give ourselves to them. And then we believe in death. We believe in lack and limitation. And the problem being, when you know about abundance, then it is, oh, I want to live like these people. So then we trash the earth. And then what we do is we still play the war game, the competition game, because that's a game that's going on to build these great riches and great poverty. Huge differences. because that then keeps both sides going again, see? You want to rise above all of that kind of materialism to the transcendental, where you can view it and you can see it, but you're not taking on it because you're not concerned with conditions, as Ernest Holmes said. He was a wonderful philosopher. No, you're concerned with cause. And so what is most of the so-called healing work is all about conditions, not changing the cause. Eliminating the cause of something, it disappears the effect. It can't be there because they're two sides of the same coin. That's all that the reality is, two sides of the same coin. One has to have the other to keep it moving. Now, as you lift that veil of ignorance off of your eyes, and instead of looking on the outer for your abundance, or to celebrate or to do the abundance rather than live in the scarcity, it's a state of being. And that ability, yes, you're a manifester. It's what you do automatically. And yet when we are in tune with the divine, that means we're trusting all of our sensing of even the outer and the inner, and trusting our knowing, not the mind and the thoughts, the knowing, not the mind and the thoughts that works by logic and reason, you see. You got to follow the rules of the literary intellectualism. Yes, because if we can't see it and touch it, it isn't real. It isn't there. And then we'll analyze that over and over and over and over again. No. That's so limiting. That's so scarcity. Then why would you want to do that to yourself or believe any kind of a so-called God, or what would you call it, body of knowledge that isn't for the welfare of all living entities, to be all that they are. Without laws, controls, rules. Yeah, you don't need that in the divine. It doesn't, no, it's not there. But as you're here, you are walking in a sense, two worlds. So you have to respect or honor, in a sense, and be aware of where you are and what's going on there. And at the same time, you're well grounded and situated within yourself and in nature and tuned in, and you give up the concept of limitation. And you no longer play the games because you see them for what they are. Yeah. And here, now, this is the great opportunity that we have. We are it. So, abundance is all that there is. Abundance of love, of joy. Love is not the opposite of fear. They're not back and forth. Love is absolute. It's not lust. It's not what can I get from you, but it's how can I bring pleasure and happiness into your life, into you. And you know, the first way, if we can all just understand, or not understand, but recognize and respect the divinity of all. And also, you can notice that there is a difference. There's another species here. See, we didn't understand that. And they don't have souls. So that's why there's so much violence and cruelty on every single level, and has been for a long time. And then we ourselves, because they are thinking in our soul, they work to survive. And they survive by actually parasiting or vampiring us. Really. And you know that in certain people, and you can sense that. And so then what we want to do is, instead of giving our power to that, to the scarcity of the lack and limitation, the fear of future failure, worrying, planning, torturing, hatred of self, punishing, guilt, all of this, it's coming from the outside or going through the mind. So we've been then serving the body, the mind, the senses, and whatever that script is, take your power back. You are the power of God, the divine, that we're all part of. Yeah. Abundance is all there.